Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Real quick, before we begin, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and click that notification bell so that way you will be notified anytime I post another video. I don't know if you've seen the news yet, but Bitcoin last night in the wee hours of the morning made a new all-time high, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to that 70K. And one analyst believes that it's clear skies if Bitcoin finally hits the 70K mark and we're going to be in price discovery. Do you know, honestly, me personally, I believe that Bitcoin should have actually hit 70K back in May. And I believe around this time, we probably would have been around 100 to 150K by this time if a quote unquote person or influencer hadn't have posted what they posted. Granted, I get it. Bitcoin at that moment was perceived to not be eco-friendly, for the miners, but Bitcoin has been using renewable energy. It may not seem like it because right now it takes, one country to actually create a full Bitcoin or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the reason why Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's electronic cash that completely eliminates the middleman. So, but here it says here, Bitcoin is clinging to 68K on November 9th after traders declared it clear to take off and ready to begin further price discovery. That's the thing. Like, I clearly don't understand. Like, I'm not a TA analyst or, whatnot, but the base fundamentals of Bitcoin and what it does and why it was created, like, it's mind blowing that Bitcoin is not above 100K right now. It's on the way, but eventually there's going to be FUD that says something else. First it was Bitcoin's not eco-friendly. Now it's probably going to be something else. It's probably going to be Bitcoin's not slow, or our country's going to talk about banning Bitcoin. But we know that that's not going to be the case. And then 2 weeks later, this major company is going to say, we're now in Bitcoin and we bought the dip. It never fails. It's a never ending cycle. And the people that's actually been in it for quite some time now are actually going to understand that, no, this is just a company's way of actually trying to create FUD, and which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the actual crypto community space. And they actually end up buying your Bitcoin. And that is one thing that I tell people is just to be careful, because when you hear news about Bitcoin going down and how, oh, you should share your Bitcoin because it's going to zero. Those are the same exact people that don't like Bitcoin, don't understand it, are possibly trying to get your Bitcoin from you. People, there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence. Once it's made, and that's for like 20, it's some years. Once that's completely over, that's it. Then miners are, whatever the way Bitcoin's code is going to be set up is, because it is code, it is computer, it can be upgraded at any moment. But if it's changed, then it could be proof of stake in the future. I'm not saying it's going to be right now, because proof of work is what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. But after Bitcoin is completely gone, I could see people competing over transactions fees, are making it a proof of stake and actually lending it out, and that actually be considered legal. Because you can lend out gold, why not lend out Bitcoin? But here it says Bitcoin appears a great wall of Phoenix. It says data from the Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView has tracked the second night of impressive gains, and it just goes off by saying Bitcoin has made every close that is made, it's an indicator that it's going to go through the roof. Like, we are no longer in a bull run. We are in a bull market, because Bitcoin has closed every single day higher, weekly higher, monthly higher. It's just absolutely insane. It says BTC's highest weekly close ever after consolidation. We are clear to take off. Popular trader once forecast as the week begun. So here's the thing, and what people don't get is that before Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, which it did, it's going to make an all-time high, like it did last week actually. It was just last week. Dang, it feels like it was been months. Well, I guess that's what they say when you're in the crypto world. A day can mean months, and sometimes even years. Like if you take off for like a day, you would miss like a year's worth of news. But as far as when it comes to Bitcoin, last week it made an all-time high, but then it was consolidating. It was consolidating around what was it, 60K or something like that. It kept consolidating, and then that teacup kept bubbling and bubbling and bubbling, and then boom, it just took off. That's what Bitcoin does. Once it takes off, it's gonna find a new price floor. Once it finds a price floor, it's gonna create a resistance. Once it creates a resistance, it's gonna go up there. It's gonna go back down to that resistance. Once it's at that resistance, it's gonna try that resistance several times until another takeoff. And this is what this takeoff is. But this time, all the roads are leading to a 70K Bitcoin, if not today. Today is Tuesday. What's today? Yep, today's Tuesday, November the 9th. If not today, tomorrow morning, that it's going to be at 70K. And once it goes to 70K, price discovery is going to happen. Everybody keeps talking about 100 to 150K Bitcoin. There's that self prophecy again. We keep talking about it. It's going to happen. Just like people keep talking about, oh, we're going to get that 8K Bitcoin, or we're going to get that 10K Bitcoin. And it happened literally last month in October, literally the last few days before October ended, was that flash crash and that massive dump that candlewick all the way down from 60, I think it was 58K or 60K all the way down to 8K. It happened. People kept complaining about it, saying it's going to happen. What happened? So now that leads to tell me all roads are leading to this, because I mean, it makes sense to me, and it should make sense to you, that the fact that now everybody's coming out saying that they may accept Bitcoin as legal tender soon. There's going to be ETFs coming soon. Of course, we in the U.S. have a futures ETF. It's not necessarily the same because it's not spot. It's not the actual Bitcoin, but that's still a start. We also got different types of adoptions and utility coming for actual Bitcoin. You can actually buy stuff with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is legal. It's not necessarily, I mean, it's still considered property when it comes to taxes, but it's still something that there's adoption coming, and it's coming full on. And everybody, like I told you before, there's people that don't want to be the first, but then again, there's people that don't want to be the last. So now that one country has considered Bitcoin legal tender, another one's trying to consider it legal tender, and it's just like the dominoes are just gonna fall. I'm so excited to see what is going to take place in 2022 for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a whole. But then it goes off by saying just basic TA stuff. It says analysts at trading platform Decent Trader also built an existing bullish convictions, noting that Bitcoin was now tracking what he called the Great Wall of Phoenix, a large sell wall on exchange Bitfinex around 70K, construction recent heavy wealth accumulation. And that's the thing. If we can get past the 70K sell wall, because people want that 70K so bad, I have a feeling it's going to dip down to 65K, and then it's going to shoot right back up. But then here it says that he's given a prediction of end of the month target of 98K. And there was a tweet pretty much saying that Bitcoin price has consecutively set an all-time high monthly close. Check. All-time high weekly close. Check. All-time high daily close. Check. The skies are pointing to a 70K Bitcoin, and are pointing to a 70K Bitcoin really soon. And I'm super excited to see what is going to happen. And again, folks, if you still feel iffy about it, put something down in the comments to tell me why you feel iffy about Bitcoin, why you think Bitcoin is not going to make it. Why do you think Bitcoin is for illegal things versus it being for like a legitimate thing? And just please leave it in a comment, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. But Bitcoin is not going anywhere. It's been around for a long time now. It's finally classifying itself, and senators all over the world are classifying Bitcoin as the standard. Do I necessarily agree that it's going to be the standard? That's another topic that I'm going to discuss somewhere down the road. But am I happy that it's actually in the mouths of Congress and the SEC and governments? Yes, because the more that it's in those mouths, the more it's going to get traction. And this freight train is already going, and you cannot stop something that's going 150 miles an hour, if not 300. Like, you cannot stop it. The only thing you can do is look or get out the way. If you're not already on it, that is. But you know how that goes. It says, investors trying to get orders in for more BTC. It says, with institutional demand for Bitcoin even at all-time highs, because it's going up. It says it's showing no signs of stopping ahead of a possible stop price exchange traded fund launching in the United States. So it says large demand has finally arrived trying to get orders in before 2022. That means something. If there's large institutions that are demanding for Bitcoin before 2022, what does that tell you? This is Go 2.0. I've been calling Bitcoin Go 2.0 for the longest. I'm gonna stick with that because gold, there's only so much gold that we can, find or mine before we go to the moon and start mining gold on the moon, or before we start mining gold on asteroids or meteorites that's flying past Earth, because there is gold on those things, outer space. That is true. There is. Look it up. There's gold out in outer space. I don't know how it formed. I don't know if it's because of the heat in the sun, our gravity pulling towards the minerals on the moon, or on asteroids, or on meteoroids, but it's gold outer space. Look it up. Like, there's plans of trying to start drilling for gold in outer space. But when this happens, that's a waste of fuel. That's a waste of the economy when they could be put towards something else. So why do that when you can actually mine for Bitcoin at renewable energy and stuff like that? But large institutions are demanding for Bitcoin before 2022 simply because they know that Bitcoin is going to be the answer and is going to be the way. It's the number one cryptocurrency. It's going to be the number one cryptocurrency for a while because it's the household name. You take a household name and you put it all around the world for mass adoption, and it already has liquidity and it already has utility. That's a game changer. But like it or not, it's going to happen. The only thing that I really hope that it's going to have on there, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but if Bitcoin gets an upgrade for NFTs for side chains, that would be amazing, because then at what point then you're going to be like, okay, well, then why am I using these other cryptocurrencies? But I do believe in the end game, there's going to be multiple cryptocurrencies, just like there's multiple debit cards, credit cards, multiple currencies right now for different countries. I don't think it's just going to just be one cryptocurrency to rule them all. I don't believe that. That's not even possible. There's going to be choices, just like you have different wallet choices. There's different hardware wallet choices. There's going to be different cryptocurrency choices. I mean, that's just me. That's my take on it. But these large companies know to invest in Bitcoin before 2022, because that's when it's going to be so stable. And when I say stable, it's probably going to be like, oh, Bitcoin dropped down $50,000, but the price of Bitcoin is $300,000 or something like that. It's going to be so stable that it's not going to affect anybody. Because once you get a cryptocurrency that's stable and it drops 2%, and that 2% is like 50K, then it really wouldn't matter, because that cryptocurrency has then solidified itself as the ultimate and the non-volatile cryptocurrency that it would be, known as Bitcoin. But that's my take on it. That is super, 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 super amazing. This analyst believes that it's actually going to go down. And here's the thing. The inflationary rate of Bitcoin is actually lower than the rate right now that it is in the US. So it's bound to be used for something. Do I believe it's going to be a reserve currency? Eventually. Because when you have a cryptocurrency that has a low inflationary rate versus the US right now and versus the world, then there's no choice for it to be that way. versus Bitcoin versus gold. Like gold is great, but Bitcoin is better. And that's just the way that it is. That's the way that it's always going to be. Gold, you don't want to go to a store, if there's no cash and then try to shave off a few and say, hey, so how much gold can I give you for this product? Oh, it's just an ounce of gold. Okay, well, let me shave this off for you. It's not possible. Versus you having a Bitcoin wallet or a Lightning node and sending them, oh, that'll be 100 stats. Okay, let me send that to you right now. Like, it's completely different. Bitcoin is paving the way. And like I said, if you don't understand it, just be like, if you don't like it just because you don't understand it, please drop them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to explain to you, or any YouTube content creator can actually explain it to you for that matter. But that is it for that one. I'm happy that Bitcoin is making a new all-time high. It's made an all-time high last night / this morning, and that's usually when the price changes. Like, I just had this feeling that the price is just going to do something, and that you're in a bull market when you get this feeling in your head and you can't go to sleep and you're tossing and turning and you checking your phone every 2 hours, or when you go to sleep and then you pop up and you say, oh, well, let me check my phone. Like, that is the euphoria of the bull market. Not a bull run, but a bull market, because in the blink of an eye, we can have those candle wicks. We can have those 2,000 candle wicks. We can have those 4,000 candle wicks, and we can have a 6,000 candle wick. That is what 2017 was like, and I'm glad that the people that are in it now are actually experiencing it again, because this does feel 2017-ish all over again. Like, when I start waking up out of my sleep and checking my phone every 2 hours and be like, oh, okay, it just went up again. That is something serious. And I know that there was a fear and greed index. I think it was like an 84 or 87, where the greed was going to a green. And then somebody had made a post about it saying that that's when Bitcoin dropped. This is different. I know we always say it feels different, but this is different because now you got regulation coming, you got clarity coming, we got ETFs. Speaking of ETFs, we got this ETF right here that's coming. It's just a lot of things that's actually finally being connected. The dots are being connected. There's still some talks behind closed door, but it's finally being connected. And this article actually talks more about the ETF, but it's not in the US, but it's a carbon neutral crypto spot ETF that's launching in Canada. It says the purpose investments will measure the carbon footprint associated with this portfolio and purchase carbon offsets accordingly. This is great. I do know this may be, to me, this tells me that something's going to happen in the US soon. And I say soon because we all know him. We all know him to dislike him. But the former chairman, Jay Clayton, and his team at, One River? I don't know. I just know that they submitted a Bitcoin carbon ETF for renewable services just like this. I don't know if it got rejected. I don't know if it was put on hold, but I do remember that was an ETF that was actually submitted to the SEC, and this may be a test ground to see how it works out for Canada. But it says 2 carbon neutral cryptocurrency backed exchange traded funds (ETFs) are poised to launch in Canada, offering a greener alternative for institutional investors. So yeah, I think this is a signal. I think, I don't know much about politics when it comes to how, there's test grounds, battlegrounds, whatnot, but this tells me that a Bitcoin, a carbon neutral Bitcoin ETF may be coming to the US and may be coming sooner than we think. This market is, set, with a lot of speculation, but you just have to try to connect the dots as much as you can. And my job as a content creator for cryptocurrency is to try to help you connect those dots, even when it feels like that there's no dots to connect. There's always something out there that's going to connect, because just like we all know, everything happens for a reason in this crypto space. And watch what they do and not what they say. That's the major thing that you need to understand, because I noticed one thing literally once that was created. No, once Elon Musk said something about Bitcoin needs to be more needs to use renewable energy, the price dropped, but then everybody jumped on board and was like, okay, well, we need to make, mining for Bitcoin so it can be less energy, so it can be more energy efficient. And then you got all these renewable stuff starting to come out, when in fact, people have been mining Bitcoin with renewable energy for a long time. So I think that was just a stage and a ploy to let people know that since the company Tesla was actually holding it, they wanted to actually give a rhyme or reason of why they're actually wanting to hold Bitcoin and why they were thinking about dropping it. But now people are like, oh, okay, well, let's make an effort so that way we can make ways to actually get that spot Bitcoin ETF in the US. And this is one of the ways that I believe is going to be a door opening to the US to allow the SEC to feel comfortable, is to have renewable, a carbon footprinted spot ETF, and say, hey, it's going well in Canada. Let's bring it over. Let's bring it down to the US. And I think that's the reason why that Jay Clayton's company that he went to created a carbon footprint, a carbon friendly Bitcoin ETF that hasn't been approved yet. I think that's still on hold, but I think this is the way. It says here, the carbon-based manager Purpose Investments is readying to launch 2 new crypto ETFs on Toronto Stock Exchange on November. That's today. And, it's like, that's crazy because the day hasn't even started yet. It's 7:13 right now, and the day hasn't even started. And this news just broke out that starting today, 2 new ETFs two carbon footprint spot ETFs for Bitcoin are going to be launching today. And Bitcoin just went and broke an all-time high around 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we get this, yes, like all the news I'm telling you, people, the news is connecting. It's connecting the dots. It's happening. I hope you've done your research on Bitcoin. I hope you've gotten some. I hope you educated people about it. I'm not a financial advisor, but please do your research. But this is just exciting. It's just that the fact that news on top of news on top of news on top of news has been coming out to inform people what Bitcoin is, and that, hey, they can't tell you to invest it, but they can show you who they're picking right now. And I hate that they're picking winners and losers, because like I said, you have to let the people decide, because crypto was actually made for the people and not actually for the bigwigs. It was made to bank the unbanked. It was made as a peer-to-peer cashless electronic cash. It was created to not allow the bigwigs to actually try to manipulate and actually make more Bitcoin than what it already is. I mean, you have hard forks, but Bitcoin XYZ is not the same as the original Bitcoin. It's just not. Bitcoin has the first mover's advantage. It's going to always have the first mover advantage. So it's just the news that just keeps coming out and piling out is just unbelievable to me. And I personally don't understand why Bitcoin is not at 150K right now. But that's just my rant on it. I'm happy for this. It says it says here, look at that. The 2 ETFs that are going to be coming out is going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, the number 1 and the number 2 coin, of course. It says, unlike the funds recently launched in the US, which are futures contract backed, these funds will be backed and settled using BTC as the underlying asset. I get that other ETFs are like this all over the world, but this, for those that don't know, a spot Bitcoin or a spot Ethereum ETF is when the company that's actually doing the ETF actually has to buy the actual digital asset of Bitcoin, the actual digital asset of Ethereum, and hold it. And it trades back and forth, whether it be hourly, whether it be daily, whether it be weekly or monthly. I don't know if it's a year. That's too long. But those transact back and forth, and those are transactions. And sometimes those transactions can cause a price to rise. And again, that's more liquidity for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and those two are the actual ones that met is out that actually suppressed and surpassed this all-time high. So having these two type things, I believe Bitcoin is going to go to 70K here within a few hours, maybe by the end of the day. I believe Ethereum is going to go to 5K within the next few days. And then it's going to go to 10K and then 16K. But that's just my thoughts on it. I'm not TA. But all roads lead to that. I mean, all the green lights have been checked. Achievements have been unlocked. I'm a gamer, so I have to say that achievements have been unlocked. It's just totally insane to me. The way that this is positioned and is promoted is going to be something. And it says here that the Toronto-based firm has partnered with Patch, a firm that will help measure the carbon footprint for crypto portfolios and offer carbon removal solutions. See, I feel like you have to throw in carbon because that's the way that the world is going. I mean, the U.S. has a president that talks about being carbon friendly and not causing issues, you know. So I believe this is the way to go. Do I hate that it's taking this long? Do I feel like that the government was kicking its feet down so they can no longer ignore it? Yes. Do I think it's going to be better for the crypto space? Yes. We just gotta get this right. If we can get this right, then the U.S. will be officially not stifling innovation when it comes to Bitcoin. When it comes to other cryptocurrencies, yes, they're still stifling because you got other cryptos that are really virtual currencies that was actually classified that from FinCEN from a long time ago. But we're not going to talk about that. But that's a bridge currency, and you could actually look up bridge currency in Google, and then it actually pull up what the bridge currency is. It's the only bridge currency out there. Hate me just like it. Hate me all you want. Just like the video all you want because I said that. But it is what it is. We know, we want to call a spade. And I always told you on my channel, if a cryptocurrency is doing well, I'm going to talk about it. If it's doing bad, I'm going to still talk about it. I'm not biased when it comes to just Bitcoin. I want every cryptocurrency to actually make it. But we all know that 85 or 90% of those cryptos that we want to invest in may not make it due to mass adoption, liquidity, and utility. That's just all it is. But I'm super excited for this. It says here, yeah, I'm genuinely super excited for this. Yeah, they're going to be going carbon friendly when it comes to this. Yeah, it's just, I personally believe that when this happens, the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to shoot up. I mean, you already got ETH, burning tokens every second. And then you have Bitcoin. There's that supply shock is going to be taken into effect soon. And then you have people that are actually still buying Bitcoin, and you have the new investors coming in, not necessarily buying a whole Bitcoin because you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin to actually own, a piece of Bitcoin on the blockchain. You got, I still believe that there's a total, instead of it being 3 to 4 million lost, I firmly believe that a total of 5 million of Bitcoin have been lost, and that hasn't been accounted for yet. So it's just a number of things that's just bubbling and boiling up. And at this moment, there's news that, that there's FUD that's trying to come out. But right now, that FUD is being overlooked because it's just so many things that's happening right now. Cars are finally being shown. Intentions are finally being shown. It's just completely unbelievable of what's actually happening. But that's my take on it. I thought about, just a complete different subject before I get into these prices. I actually thought about getting into NFTs and actually buying some NFTs. So if you're watching it and you made it all the way to the end, let me know what NFT projects that you think that I should do some research on and actually buying and holding. I love the concept of NFTs. It's digital art. I love art. So I'm thinking about getting into that game. I just don't know which projects, have a say so in it. Like, I don't really study those like other people do. But let me know in the comments below which NFT projects you think are worthy of me actually looking into. Real quick, before I let you go, I'm going to go over the price. The price is at 2.9 trillion. We're getting closer and closer to that 3 trillion. And once that 3 trillion comes, that is going to be insane. Let me tell you, between 3 and 4 trillion. Right now, we got Bitcoin at 67,572. We got Ethereum at 4,777. We got Binance. We got Binance coin at $643. We got Cardano's ADA, $2.29. That's up 12.33%. Solana was at the number 5 spot. It looks like actually Cardano flipped Solana because Solana was at the number 4 spot, but now Cardano's at the number 4 spot. So look at that. It's the battle of the proof of stake blockchains. We got Tether, of course. Tether's being Tether. Tether's doing tethering things. That's at $1. We got XRP at $1.25. Polkadot at $51.89. We got Dogecoin at the number 9 spot at 27 cents. Shiba Inu at under a penny. Luna at $51.71. And we got Avalanche at $88. And then look at that, Litecoin is coming up at $247.53. That is absolutely insane, everybody. We are in a bull market. We're almost at price discovery, and mostly all the other altcoins have not hit their all-time highs, but it's coming. As long as Ethereum is going to keep going. The rest of the market is going to keep going. And I personally believe that this is going to just keep going into June. It may be a little sooner, but we're just getting into a world where regulatory clarity is actually happening. It could be good or it could be bad, but still we have regulatory clarity that's actually right around the corner, and it can only do good things for crypto if handled properly. But that's just my take on it. Let me know what you think about it. You should also, if you haven't watched my video for the previous video, I believe that you should actually watch it now. It should be popping up. Make sure you click that video once we get off here. But again, let me know the NFTs that you're interested in, that just you may think I may like. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, stay focused, stay locked in. Peace.